In this video, we're looking at the cash flow output, what it is telling us, and some of the different charts. We're starting in the Let's See screen, and let's see single chart to show this screen here. Each bar is a year in the plan. Blue is good, that means there's sufficient assets and income in order to meet their needs, and their needs being their expenses, debt repayments, everything you've entered into the plan that requires a payment. And red indicates a shortfall. In other words, there are insufficient liquid assets and income in order to meet those needs. The markers on the plan here are the events in the plan. Click on them to see the name of the event, and you can edit them and move them and change them in the timeline screen, which is shown in a separate video. Underneath the timeline, you'll see the ages of the clients. So the first client you put in, the principal client age, is at the top, and then the second client you put in, which in this plan is the spouse, is underneath. The light blue line here is the basic expenses, taxes and debts, things like that, whereas the black line above this includes what's in the light blue line, as well as leisure and luxury expenses and contributions into things. If we now click on details top right of the chart, this reveals which income and assets Voyant is using in order to meet the needs in that year. A nice way to look at this is to hide all, and you've got the expense profile for the chart, and then bring the items in one at a time. So in their pre-retirement years, they've got employment, and if I click on basic need, you can see the employment is meeting their basic needs, but it isn't sufficient to meet their total needs, because there's this red. If we then click on taxable savings, they're accessing the taxable savings to just about meet their total needs in these years and in the initial years in retirement. We've got the age pension, the super, and some other things in the plan as well, which we'll cover in a separate video. At age 84, there's a shortfall in that there is insufficient liquid assets in order to meet their needs. This is when it's nice to see the dual chart and look at the assets chart. So what I'm going to do now is go to Let's See dual chart and look at the assets chart and the cash flow chart at the same screen. And the assets chart is nice because it gives you a picture of what underpins the chart. You can see when they start to run out of their liquid assets, they still have their non-liquid asset, which in this plan is their property. So even though they have a shortfall, they still have their property here. And you could, in a what if, for example, model a downsize of the property. If I go back to Let's See single chart, top right of the chart here is where a lot of the functionality is for navigating through the charts or looking at the charts in different details. If I go to these three dots, I can do zoom, for example, and I can zoom in to show those initial years in the pre-retirement years, or I can use the bar underneath here and only show, for example, these initial years in the plan. I can also go to year view, which is a great place for you to check once you've entered things into the plan that it's set up how you'd expect. In year view, for each year of the plan, you can see the details behind that year. So for example, in year one, in cash flow, this is all the money coming into the plan. Expenses, money going out. Investments and pensions, that's the end of year balances on those accounts that you've entered in the plan. What the net growth is on those accounts, and any contributions and withdrawals in that year. If I click on the name of the account, this will reveal further information. It's in here that you'll see some of the impact of the assumptions in the plan. For example, in investments, you can see the growth rate on the investments. And in expenses, you can see the inflation set on the expenses. Note that all these things are available in touchscreen, so when you're on an iPad or a computer that has a touchscreen, you can use your finger to swipe left and right to see different charts, or double tap to see year view. Click on the three buttons and deselect zoom to come out of that view. If I want to see different charts, I can either click on the right and left buttons here on the screen, or I can go to the top right, cash flow, and look at the different charts here. Once you've set up a what if scenario, you can compare this new scenario to the base plan by going to Let's See, Compare Plans, Chart View. And in here you can have your what if scenario at the bottom and then your base plan at the top. In this way you can see the difference in the modelled longevity of the assets, the estimated taxes profile, the difference in the accumulation and decumulation of assets over time, and things like that. Once you've compared your plans, you can also have a look at the Insights tab, which can help with stress testing the plans, market turbulence, and spending insights. Insights is another way to compare plans, look at trends over time, and they're really there as conversation starters. I hope this video has been helpful as an introduction to the charts. For more videos, see our YouTube page. Thanks for listening.